All right, let's talk Oracle SQL. From the outside, it can look like this huge, complicated mountain to climb. But honestly, once a few key ideas click into place, everything else just falls in line. So for the next 5 minutes, we're going to build that foundation, and we're going to do it fast. So why Oracle? Why should you even care? Well, this number right here, it says it all. Almost all. We're talking 97% of the Fortune 100 companies run on Oracle. This isn't just some random tech skill. Learning this stuff is basically a golden ticket for your career. Okay, so where do we even begin? Let's start with the big picture. Seriously, forget about all the weird syntax and commands for a minute. We're just going to focus on the 3 big ideas that make this whole system work. If you can get these down, you are already way ahead of the game. Think of it like this, okay? The database, that's just the raw stuff. All the customer names, the sales numbers, the inventory levels, all that information. Then you've got SQL. That's the language, right? It's how you ask questions about all that data. And Oracle? Oracle is the powerhouse system, the RDBMS, that keeps it all organized, keeps it safe, and hands you the data when you ask for it. Now, every single command you will ever type fits into one of these 5 buckets. I know, it looks like a lot, but don't sweat it. As a beginner, your entire world is going to live right here in DMQL data query language. Using the select command to just ask for data, you're going to spend like 90% of your time doing just that. You know, the best way to picture all this working together is the librarian analogy. It's perfect. The database is the entire library, packed with books of information. SQL is the special language you have to use to ask the librarian for what you want. And Oracle? Oracle is that super organized, maybe a little bit strict librarian who knows exactly where every single book is and, yeah, make sure you've got the clearance to even check it out. So if you're going to boil it all down to its absolute core, just remember this. SQL lets you talk, the database is where you store stuff, and Oracle is what manages the whole show. Simple as that. Okay, cool. So we get it. Library, language, librarian. We've got the roles down. Now let's actually walk inside that library and see how the books are arranged. Let's look at the blueprint of the database itself. Inside any Oracle database, everything is organized in this really clear top-down way. It starts with something called a schema. Inside a schema, you have your tables. Tables are built from columns. And then, finally, inside all that structure, you have your actual data, the rows. Let's zero in on that first one, the schema, because it's a really big deal in Oracle. When you create a user in the system, Oracle automatically gives them a schema. Just think of it as their own private little workspace where they can keep all the tables and things that they build. The office cubicle analogy just makes this crystal clear. Your schema? That's your cubicle. Everything inside is yours. The tables are like filing cabinets within your cubicle. The columns are the labels on the folders inside that cabinet. You know, first underscore name, last underscore name. And the rows? That's the actual data, the individual pieces of paper, the documents inside those folders. And here it is, the simple takeaway. The schema is your workspace, the table gives it structure, and the row is the actual data you care about. All right, so we know how the data is structured, but what kind of data can we actually put into those folders? That's where data types come in. They're basically the rules that tell a column what kind of information it's allowed to hold. Let's kick things off with the 2 main ways to store text. Think of varchar2 as spandex. It's flexible. It stretches to fit exactly what you put in it, which makes it super efficient. Char, on the other hand, is like a hard, rigid box. If you say it holds 10 letters and you only put in 2, well, it still wastes all that extra space. It's why you are going to use varchar2 99% of the time. Next up, we have the other 2 heavy hitters. The number type, that's your go-to for pretty much anything you'd ever do math on. But listen up, because this is a huge tip for the date type. In Oracle, date doesn't just store the date, it also stores the time, right down to the very second. That one little fact trips up so many beginners, but once you know it, it's an incredibly powerful feature. So let's lock it in. Number is for math. Varchar2 is for flexible text. Char is for fixed text. And don't forget, date always includes the time. Fantastic. We've covered the what, we've covered the why, but now we've got to talk about the most important part, the how. How do you actually learn this stuff and make it stick without, watching hundreds of hours of boring videos? This might be the single most important piece of advice I can give you. Just passively watching videos, yeah, it feels productive, but it's not where the real learning happens. The fastest way to learn is by doing. And you know what? By making mistakes, by breaking things. So here's your game plan in 3 simple steps. First, you've got to type out every single query. No copy pasting. You need that muscle memory. Second, break your code on purpose. Seriously. Delete a comma, misspell a keyword. Seeing the error messages and figuring them out is the best teacher there is. And third, whatever you learn today, look at it again tomorrow. This one little trick can boost how much you remember from 20% to over 70%. It's huge.
So forget like and subscribe. I'm giving you a real challenge. Right now, open up an SQL editor, create one table, stick 3 rows of data in it, and then drop the table. That's it. That's the mission. Go do it.
And as you get started, just keep this in your head. Practicing for 15 minutes every single day is so much more valuable than a 5-hour cram session once a week. Small, consistent steps. That's the real key.
You've got it. You've got the core concepts, you've got a learning plan, you've got a challenge. The theory part is officially over. Your first query is sitting there just waiting for you, so the only question left is, what are you going to build?